Don't rule out ideas before you fully explore them. Whether you realize it or not, you are a silo full of rich ideas just waiting to be tapped. You're a treasure chest of golden nuggets begging to be plundered. You're a field of fragrant flowers just waiting to be... You get the point. You have a lot of great ideas. You just need to give yourself time to get them all out of your brain and onto the page where you can assess them, tune them, trade them, move them around, add to them, and admire them. This goes for brainstorming, free writing, and even story sculpting and editing. Give yourself enough time to consider everything on the page before you toss anything. Maybe a topic you came up with isn't perfect, but has the potential to bloom when combined with another half-baked concept. Keep all of the pieces in play until you are positive you no longer need them. And even then, you know there is no such thing as empty trash. Don't try too hard to come up with ideas that are quirky versus authentic. So your life isn't like a bowl of all organic quinoa. Big deal. And who cares if you couldn't figure out how to arrange your story about your science fair volcano accident into a series of meaningful haikus? Admissions officers only value quirk in an essay if it serves a purpose. In fact, they would prefer to get to know the real you, the you who cares about animals and art and found a way to combine those interests. You don't have to be weird, and neither does your essay. You just have to be you. On a related note, don't forget that the essay is about you and no one else. It makes sense that when presented with the challenge of writing an essay about your intangible qualities, you would feel compelled to focus on a person who has influenced your life outlook and philosophy. Maybe your grandmother taught you how to live in the moment as an 80-year-old who still drives and does the tango at her geriatric singles club. Perhaps your father's love of mathematics inspired him to get you involved in robotics projects when you were a kid, which later evolved into one of your greatest passions. Writing about people who have had a great impact on your life is absolutely fair game. Just make sure the main emphasis of the essay is not on the life of your mother or brother or piano teacher, but on the relationship and its effect on you. You can write your grandmother's biography in your college creative writing class. Don't repeat your resume. Admissions officers already have plenty of lists to read. They're scanning your transcript, reviewing your activity resume, and assessing your family background and history. We have said this to you many times, but it bears repeating. The essay needs to reveal something that cannot be gleaned from your transcript or test scores. It is the only chance you will have to speak to admissions directly and in your own voice. So it should push beyond highlighting your academic strengths and after-school activities and dig into the meat of who you are as a human. If you are a varsity soccer player who spends most of your time kicking balls down the field, the instinct to talk about all of your athletic accomplishments is totally natural. But try to push beyond the basic recap. Why are you such a successful soccer player? What does your ability to make a winning play on a sprained ankle say about your level of determination? Where else does this resolve show itself in your life? Reach to define those intangible qualities that make you an interesting person. Someone an admissions officer would want to have a conversation with. And let the test scores and resumes speak for themselves. Don't tell admissions what you want them to know. Show them. Are you fun and creative? Are you resilient and kind? Do you have passion for the things you do? The best way to communicate these kinds of qualities is to craft stories that illustrate these points. If you think you're resourceful, maybe you should write about that time you turned a spilled paint accident into an abstract set design for your last school play. What does this story say about your positive attitude and creativity? Leading a reader through events that communicate something about your inner qualities is much more convincing than a mere declaration of your purported strengths. So don't brag. Let your story do the talking instead. And know that describing events and bringing an admissions officer along for one of your proudest moments is much more powerful than blatant self-congratulation. All of that said, don't sell yourself short. You might be one of those people who looks around at their peers and thinks, I don't do any of the cool stuff they do. I'm boring. But remember, you are not boring. You're awesome. You're also probably humble and have a natural gift for identifying and celebrating the talents of others. So what if you haven't been to Spain to experience the true Catalan culture and put your language skills to good use? Who cares if you can't dance on the wing of a plane while founding 14 charities and curing all of the world's ills? Sometimes life's biggest lessons are found in the smallest moments and most humble achievements. Don't put yourself down or hide your talents under a pile of doubt, comparisons, and dirty socks. Give yourself some credit. We know you deserve it. Also, know that life experiences, regardless of what they are not what make a college essay shine. It's the voice and heart of the writer that add the true magic. Don't be negative. A great American poet once said, "No one likes a party pooper." Whether you are talking about a moment of failure or a moment of triumph, a funny story or a sad one, positivity is an essential component of the college essay. As we know you have seen in your academic and extracurricular endeavors, attitude is everything. It is what drives success and, just as importantly, it's what makes people want to be around you. If a situation has some heavy thoughts and consequences related to it, try to also access the bright side of the story. Stay upbeat and deliver an epic dose of can-do. Don't give admissions any reason to doubt your full-on awesomosity. Let's make sure your essay leaves the reader with a feeling that you are the kind of person who would make any day brighter, not darker, and who always looks for the good over the bad. Don't add extra words just to up the word count. This year's Common App suggests you submit an essay of 500 to 650 words. And while you will have to get your story under the 650 mark to fit it in that fun little application text box, you shouldn't feel pressured to hit that upper limit. In fact, 500 to 550 words can be more than enough to tell your story if you follow our earlier tips on being economical with your language. Under no circumstances would we recommend you add words simply to get to 650. Worry about telling your story first. If your word count is clocking in at well under 500, that is when you might want to think about what in your story still remains unsaid. But a story of 579 words is likely doing the job just fine. So is a story of 610 words, or 649. If you feel you have told your tale well, no matter what the final length, you can wear your unique word count as a badge of pride. Don't skip the final edit. So you went on a month-long archaeological dig to excavate memories and milestones for your brainstorms, hunkered down in a subterranean lair to free-write for 72 straight hours, and perform painstaking surgery to pluck the best pieces from those free-writes and arrange them with care. You're done, right? Wrong. There is no substitute for good old-fashioned editing once you have a near-final draft in place. Walk away from your essay for a day or two and come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes. Comb through the essay slowly and methodically, looking for errors your eye learns to skip over. Also, having a trusted advisor scour your essay for final errors is always a good idea. Someone who hasn't memorized your essay, like you probably have, will catch the extra spaces, missing articles, and misused apostrophes that you don't. Is there anything worse than reading your essay just after you've pressed the submit button and realizing a double "and" has made it into your masterpiece? No. No, there isn't. So don't take any chances. Uncover those last pesky typos and polish that essay to a high shine. Don't plagiarize. We don't think we have to say this to you, but we're going to say it anyway. Don't copy other people's work. It's dishonest and it's unethical. Also, it sells you and your talents short. We know you're an interesting and talented person who can write your own college admissions essay. And admissions officers want to read what you have to say. We hope this isn't the case, but if you're even tempted to copy someone else's work, know this. Admissions officers can sense when your work is not your own. In fact, we even suggest you take care to comb for small, unintentional acts of plagiarism before submitting your final draft. Are you sure you attributed all of your information correctly? If you think you might have copied even just a factoid from Wikipedia verbatim, change it. Know with confidence that the work you're submitting is yours and yours alone.